All right, hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. Hopefully you subscribe and stay a while. My name is Lainey or lainiojo, same handle on Instagram and TikTok. Although I don't really use TikTok, but you're welcome to follow me there. Just notice my content. But I figured I would answer some questions about something that I used to get a lot of questions on when it first happened, because people are like, I don't think that looks the same. But I don't get a ton of questions on it now, because people are always like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it. But once I mention it, then people are like, I have questions. But basically I'm trying to talk about my breast augmentation, or my boob job. So I got a boob job December of 2021. Yes, yeah, December 2021. Got it here in Texas. I got it at Basu Aesthetics. Really recommend. There were a lot of girls that go to my gym, so like Alpha Land, that I gone to him before, and they all looked really good. They'd also like either talked about it on like their socials, whether it was like Instagram or YouTube. So I did a lot of research behind it and asked people questions, like fully trusted them. So I would highly recommend, if someone is going to cut you open and change how your body is going to look potentially for the rest of your life, you do a hell of a lot of research on them to make sure that they are gonna be like the best fit, so you're gonna look how you want to look and there's not gonna be any complications or anything. I guess I should probably backtrack about why I got it, because I've gotten that question a couple times. I don't know how to answer it other than because I wanted to. Same reason as people say like, oh, why do you eat that, or why do you buy those clothes, or like, because I want to. Just growing up, always just waited for my boobs to come in, and they never did. Just genetically, I store all my body fat in like my butt and my thighs, and anything from like the waist up is just not going there. I just didn't feel very feminine, like proportionate in the like how I kind of wanted my body to look, and I'm a lot more confident now. That's like my kind of spiel on that. Like I don't know, at the end of the day, it's your body, it's your money, unless someone's like paying for it for you. And I think you should do what makes you feel confident and like healthy and happy and all that kind of stuff. That's how I feel about anything. If it makes you feel happy, healthy, confident, like do what you want to do, girl. Or guy, I don't know. I hope there's no guys watching this video. That's kind of weird. The next thing I should talk about is probably the type that I did. So I did under the muscle because it was gonna look the most natural. I did gummy bear implants. I think it's like a newer style of thing. So I think they feel more like real boobs. I never had real boobs, I don't really know. They look really natural too, so when I tell people now, so I'm like a little over a year after getting them, so like after about 6 months, they're like fully settled. And when I tell people that I did have a boob job, people are very like honestly like surprised that I did. Like they couldn't tell. Which is nice to know that they didn't look crazy fake or anything like that. And I definitely was more like kind of conservative on the size of them. Like they definitely look like they could fit my body. I think they're like 375 cc's. I think the surgeon said that he tried like 400 some while I was under, and they were just too big for like my like cavity or whatever, because I'm just a very small petite individual. For reference, like 5'5", 5'6". When I'm like super lean, I'm probably like 115-ish pounds. Like right now, like bulking, I'm like 127-ish pounds. So I'm still a pretty small, like very like petite individual. If that is helpful for anybody, if they're wondering what size to kind of get, again, you can message me. But it's just kind of hard to like see somebody on social media and be like, I think that would be what I'd want. But like, it's more of like, I didn't tell the surgeon the size I wanted necessarily, and I didn't tell him the cup size that I wanted, because I'm like a C or D cup, like it kind of depends. I actually don't wear real bras. I probably only put a real bra on like maybe 10 times after my surgery, because I just wear sports bras every day. What was I saying? Is awkward. Oh, so when I was talking with my surgeon, like at my consultation appointment, they had me find pictures of like the look I kind of wanted, so then they could kind of decide the type of implant to do and like the size and all of that kind of stuff. So I think mine is called the high profile. There was that or the ultra high profile, but the ultra high profile was like, it pretty much looked like it was just like in front of your body, like really aggressively, and there was no like side boob action kind of going on. And I told him, I was like, I don't want that. I want a little bit of side boob, because I want more of like the hourglass shape, because that's like why I wanted boobs in the first place, is to have more of like an hourglass shape to kind of balance out like my big hips, and like my weight goes to my glutes and stuff like that. Oh shoot. Okay, there we go. I just showed him pictures of like, this is kind of what I want to look like, and then from there we kind of just chatted about that. And like at your consultation appointment, you like try on different like sizes and stuff like that, just to see what you'd want to like, what size you would think you'd want to get. And then they, obviously you go in for the surgery and then they like try them on basically and see if it like fits and like looks good with all of that. So that was kind of my experience with that. My experience like with the actual surgeon himself, I went to Basu Aesthetics, and I think it's like Cypress or somewhere. I think it's maybe like 45-ish minutes away from like where I live, kind of like the Houston-ish area. And I fully recommend him. I thought he was amazing. His staff was amazing. The facility was like very clean. It seemed like all the people that I had like talked to or seen that had gone to him were like, their results were really, really good, and they look really natural. Or even if they went with like a really big size, which like you can kind of tell like they were like fake, but they still looked really good, if that makes any sense. I felt really comfortable going to him, and like obviously after meeting with him, like he definitely knew his stuff and everything. So that's my experience with that. And then post-op, I just want to warn any girls, 1 week you go to your post-op appointment and they take the bandage off and you can see what it looks like for the first time. Now keep in mind, they just put something in your body that's a foreign object. Your body's freaking the frick out, like what just happened, what's going on. So it produces a lot of inflammation, a lot of swelling, and the implants migrate up. Now again, I'm really hoping there's no men on this, because like this is just a girl chat right now, right? So the lady takes the wrap off, and number one, when they take the wrap off, now a bunch of blood can rush up to your head because it's very tight, it's compressive, to help with the swelling. So a bunch of blood rushes up to your head, and it's common-ish for people to like feel like they're gonna pass out. So that combined with when I saw them, I knew they were gonna go up. For whatever reason, in my head, I thought that the nipples come up with them, right? Like it'd just be like a boob that's way up here. However, that's not how that works, guys. Your nipples just stay in one place. So the implant was literally up to my freaking collarbone, and my nipple was down here at the bottom. And they looked like fucking like footballs or something. They looked odd because from the swelling and stuff. So I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, what the f I just do to my body? And then like your midsection's really like bloated and inflamed. I'm looking greasy and ratchet. I feel like I'm about to pass out, and I'm just like, oh my god, I just made the biggest mistake of my life. Biggest, most expensive mistake. So I started to pass out, so they like put me in the chair or whatever, and they're like calming me down. With stuff like, not calling me down, they're just helping me like get back to like being good. And like I'm sure the lady could tell with like my face, and she goes, they're gonna look different. And my surgeon at least took pictures like while I'm asleep, like once I put them in, to show like what it looked like. And I was like, okay, that's reassuring, it's gonna look different. That was the worst part. I feel like I was nervous. So to anybody that like gets them done, I feel like I've like talked to other girls or seen other people talk about on social media, and that happens and they're like, oh my god, it looks awful. You gotta wait. You just be patient, right? It took like 6 months is what my doctor said for them to be like fully settled. So afterwards, for like a week, you just like wear the bandages, or at least that's what my surgeon did. I wore the bandages. I like couldn't move my arms. I had to have someone take care of me. After a couple days, I could like kick a chair over to the microwave to like get my bowl in, but I pretty much had like little T-Rex arms, so I couldn't move. Cause like I had nothing, so it was very stretched. It was pretty painful. I only took the pain meds for like maybe 2 days, I wanna say. And then I just took like Tylenol and I was okay. But for a week, I couldn't do anything. And then you can't shower, can't wash your hair. After like a month-ish, I was able to start working out. So I pretty much just did legs, and I did like machine only stuff. I couldn't even hold more than like, I think 25-pound dumbbells to do like RDLs. It was like the most I could hold. Anything more in my hands like that, like it just pulled and it didn't feel right. And my surgeon was like, just kind of let pain and like that feeling be your guide. Like if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. I just had to be super careful with the movements I was doing. Even like lat pull downs felt weird. They feel fine now, but for the first couple months, like they'd like jump because the muscles would contract. So I'm now very aware of when I'm using my chest to help with other movements versus not, because if I feel my chest moving, my surgeon personally said not to train my chest. It's just not worth it, just because implants could move. And if they move and they don't move back, then I have to go for surgery to get it fixed, and they might just look weird after that. And that's not worth it. I also just don't like training chest, so cool by me. But it's kind of, it is still a little bit difficult to do any movement. So for example, like an overhead shoulder press, I have to be super careful with that. So I'm not crazy strong in it because I can't get any chest involvement. And again, I'm very aware when my chest starts engaging because like it feels weird, is the best way I can describe it. It just feels weird. And I have to like kind of back down then. Talking about like training and stuff now, so people are different depending on, and I'm not crazy well versed in this, so please ask your doctor, like at your consultation or whatever. I personally don't train chest. Now, I know other girls that got implants under the muscles that do still train chest. I don't. And for the first couple months, I could literally see them jump when my chest would engage. You know, like when guys do like a pec pop, it looked like that. Like I could quite literally do a pec pop and it was terrifying because again, I don't want them to move like out of place to have to get them fixed again. Training and stuff now, I just had to kind of like figure it out and go super light with stuff for a while. And I did actually lose some muscle in my upper body because right after that I went into like a gut health protocol with like my food and my protein were super low. So different story for that. But my biggest thing I will say is you might lose some size, like upper body wise, muscle wise. So just be really on top of your nutrition is my biggest tip there. So like if you track your macros, oh my gosh, I want to focus. If you track your macros, stay on top of your freaking macros. Make sure you're eating foods that help with recovery, especially stay up on your water, you can get steps, all that kind of stuff, because if you can't train for a little bit, like you don't have to let all that stuff go out the window, because right, you want to look good when the girls are all settled, right? And if you don't track your macros, even just like calories and protein, oh my gosh, I swear if this whole video has been out of focus, I'm so sorry, but I might still just post it. What was I saying? Now, when you get back into working out, if you guys have questions on like what to do training wise, totally DM me and I can give you some like kind of direction with stuff like that, because I definitely I kind of asked girls in my gym that I knew had gotten theirs done on like what they could do, because I felt a little bit lost. Like I did like a shoulder press of like 5 pounds or something like that, and that just like still felt weird, but I just had to kind of get that range of motion and the movement back, because for a while I couldn't lift my arms all the way up. I can do that now, but I couldn't do that before. Cost wise, I mean, it's gonna be different for the type of implant and like where you go and all that kind of stuff. I think like $8,000-ish is like pretty standard across the board. Again, I don't know, depend where you live, where you go to, all that kind of stuff. But my only tip for that is like, don't cheap out on where you go. Like if you want them that bad, please do not go to a really cheap, sketchy place. Like I don't even want to think about what could happen with that. And the other thing that I would say for like with your recovery, have someone stay with you to take care of you, whether that's a roommate, significant other, family member, whatever it is, for the first couple days to honestly like a week. Just because it's like the first couple days, like you're out of commission, like to have help with like doing stuff. Like I couldn't even carry my own groceries for a couple weeks, which is really frustrating. But have someone help, because it is not worth it, because you just paid all that money, all that time, you're so excited, and then you fuck it up doing something stupid when you could have asked for help. So make sure you have someone help you for a little bit. And then also with the medication that they use to put you under, it is very common to be constipated for a while. Sure, like at like your pre-op appointment, they'll tell you to get stuff that help you go, but I would highly encourage getting some kind of like magnesium citrate or like stool softener laxative type of thing to help get things going, because in combination with all of like the swelling in your abdomen that's gonna happen, if you're blocked up for like a week, 2 weeks, guys, it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. You feel like shit. Like you feel like shit for a lot of reasons. So that first, like I said, 1 to 2 weeks is pretty brutal. And then it gets better, I promise. And then for on like the actual surgery day, so I couldn't have any makeup on, I couldn't have nail polish on. I just wore like a zip up and like I think like pajama shorts or something maybe. That was like comfy, because like you put like a robe on while you're in there, but like you take your jewelry and all that kind of stuff out. Like it's like a pretty standard for like what an operation would be like. You have to stop eating at a certain point before when your surgery is going to be, because of the medicine that puts you under. You could like nausea, vomit, choke on your vomit because you're unconscious kind of thing. At least I'm pretty sure that's the reasoning why, if I'm remembering correctly. But at least for my doctor, there was like a medication that I did, or like a patch I put on the night before to help with like nausea or something. And there's something else I did the next morning. And then you have to do a certain thing leading up to it with like a antibacterial sterilization kind of like wash in that area, as well as in like your whole body when you go in. And then they'll kind of like help sterilize and stuff too, but just to make sure you're sterile, because they're about to cut into you. And again, this is just what my doctor did. It could be different from like place to place. And then on the actual day of the surgery, I went in for the surgery, came out maybe like, I think it only took like an hour tops maybe. Okay, so I ended up putting a poll up on my Instagram to see if there were other questions that I should talk about. So I'm like coming back in here later to answer these. And the biggest ones I got was like, what exercise can't I do? Or how long does it take me to be able to do stuff like push-ups and things like that. So in case I didn't like make this like super clear before, which I don't know if I did, I just kind of talked a lot. I don't do any chest movements at all. I have not tried an actual push-up since getting my boobs done. Will not ever train chest. I also don't like to train chest. Like I said, I don't really care to, so I'm not sad about that. So if someone like loves training chest, maybe that's something that you consider, but for me, I'd rather have boobs. Say after about a month I was able to go into the gym, but again, I only did leg stuff. And then after maybe like 2-ish weeks or 1 week, I started doing some really light upper body things. So I found that like seated cable rows, like light, I could do those. Lat pull downs I tried really light, so literally like 20 or 40 pounds was the most that I did, which was like less than half of like what I would normally do, but just to kind of like get my body to that range of motion, because again, like the overhead like felt really weird. And then I could do some kind of like lateral raises, I could do like bicep curls, I could do like shoulder press, like super light. That one was probably like the last thing to be able to like fully be able to get back to like feeling normal, was the shoulder press. And it still feels kind of weird because like I said before, sometimes I can really feel my chest like engage, and I try my absolute hardest not to get it to engage at all. Some movements like tricep push downs, like on a cable, those feel weird. My boobs definitely, like my chest engages just a little bit, so I have to like be super mindful with those. So form on some movements I do have to adjust. For lat pull downs for a while, I would just like kind of overarch my back and lean back a little bit, so it wasn't a true lat pull down, but that was the only way I could take my chest out of it, because basically every exercise I was doing, I was modifying it to make sure my chest would not get involved at all. So those were kind of like the main things that I'd say about like exercises. And then again, like it's totally different for some people. So for me, again, I don't train chest. However, this girl that I used to work with, she got her boobs done, and literally like a week later or something, she was like benching or something. So I don't know what she got. I don't remember what it was, but it's definitely different for different people. So again, that's totally a conversation to have with your surgeon, and that might influence the type that you get. I just wanted them to look as natural and feel as natural as possible. And then I'm also getting questions about like being nervous about the recovery. Honestly, guys, so, and maybe my mindset with certain things is just kind of like intense, but even if it's painful, even if it sucks for like, maybe it sucks for a couple days, maybe it sucks for a couple weeks, or like a week, maybe it's a month, that it hurts, it sucks, it's super inconvenient. To me, it's worth it, because then for however many years I have these in, maybe I'll have to get new ones at some point, like replace them. It's worth that little bit of discomfort if it's gonna get me to like the result that I want. So same thing of like with fitness, and that's just my mindset with stuff. For some people, that's gonna keep them from doing it, or like they don't want to get the tattoo because it's like gonna hurt or something like that. I'm not someone that cares about that, because I could deal with that short-term discomfort for that like the long-term satisfaction, whatever result that I'm after. So my advice to you, if you're nervous about it, like obviously do your research, make sure you're like prepared for that. But if it's something that you really truly want, you can handle that little bit of discomfort. If you really want it, it's gonna be worth it. I feel like those are all the things that I could think of, at least. Again, if you have any other questions, let me know down in the comments, or message me on Instagram, and I would love to kind of chat about any of that kind of stuff. Let me know down below if there's any other videos that you want to see, whether that's like workout voiceovers, or like a chatty kind of about a topic, or if you want to do like a Q&A type of thing, like about me, I don't know. I make these videos for you guys, whatever you want to see. So make sure you hit the like button if this was helpful at all, and if you decide to get your girls done, seriously the best thing I ever did, one of the best choices I ever made, the best big purchase I ever made, and I don't regret it at all. So to anybody that's considering it, hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.